All right, guys, welcome back to another Complexity Cast presentation. This is TteS versus QsQ in the Dreamhack Winter DreamHoN group stages, brought to you by Beef and Emperor, aka Brized. Brized, this is a remake. They picked it so fast. We got to talk about their teams.
Yeah, let's look over the picks really quick here. I mean, we're obviously not going to know the bans and picks, so any, interesting things to note have going to be absent for this game, but right over here, looking at the TteS lineup, Swiftblade, Demented Shaman, Fade, Aluna, Keeper. Nothing, things of note, Swiftblade, number one. Slick's favorite hero, I might say, ever since beta. He picked it up here in the DreamHack Winter event. Pretty ballsy move. A lot of people consider Swift almost unusable in this metagame.
Yeah, and well, we'll see how he uses it in here. This is actually a hero that my team likes to use. I kind of like being able to use him. I mean, he's very interesting for something like an anti-push with a Rune Cleaver. He can definitely do that anti-push against somebody like Keeper of the Forest a little bit. And he does farm extremely well getting into those later stages. So we'll
I
see.
tell you, I like a more early mid game item build there, where you go like Steam Boots, Energizer, Frostburn, things like that, where you just try to assert an early advantage and don't give them room to breathe. But there's lots of ways to play that hero.
Yeah.
Jeppin's on his signature hero. I mean, outside of Kinesis, if there was one thing you would tie Jeppin's to, it is the Keeper Suicide. He has been absolutely dominant in that role lately, and it was given to him in this game. Outside of that, Leon Black plays a fantastic Aluna. I swear to God, he plays it every TMM game I ever play with him. Waitaliba on DS, so playing more of a support role this game instead of the normal jungler spot, but he does the great support as well. Meanwhile, QsQ, they have the Nymphora Pebbles combination. They have the Silhouette, which should perform great against the Keeper of the Forest. Not as good as, say, a Soul Reaper would, but he still does have lane control overall. Then we're looking at Jungle Tempest, should farm very fast versus no jungler on TteS. Other than that, nothing too much to note. I think TteS has a stronger mid lane of Luna Fade, but some really good team synergy coming out here from QsQ.
Yeah, now that's something worth noting right there, that there is in fact no jungler here on TteS. Going to be running the dual lane bottom, DS and Swiftblade against that Suicide Bubbles, and the dual lane mid, the kill lane, Fade and Aluna right there. So without that jungler, they're really going to have to focus on winning both of these lanes, especially that bottom lane, just absolutely crushing bottom lane, making sure that Yonasan Fan has absolutely nothing. But we already saw that Yonasan Fan is actually doing a pretty good job right here, getting all this experience and getting these creep kills.
Yeah, initially, but you have to look. They actually did get a stack off here on these niches. They prevented them from warding the pool. So yeah, he's gonna get the stack and pull, and you need that honestly if you don't have jungler. So great job by White Talipa.
Yeah, White showing that he's not just the jungler, but he's also a master of the jungle, making sure that he's able to get in there even on the support and do his job. But Swiftblade actually taking a ton of harass there from Yonasan Fan, all the way down to about 30% life at that point. And now going to use his spin to start cleaning up this creep wave. Did actually miss 3 out of the 4 creep kills.
And he did get
tower.
2 of them, actually.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, well, still, missing 2. That's not exactly
Yeah,
what
I think he just wanted to stay safe from the bubbles and with the giant creep wave on him. I'm not too sure if it was the best, but oh well, it could have gone worse, right?
Yeah, he could have died.
Yeah. With the creep wave on him, with the bubbles harass, who knows? But he did have DS, who knows? But, DS doing a great job here of edging bubbles out of the lane. He wants to keep them at as low of an experience as possible since they do not have a jungle. And they know their Suicide Keeper will be getting experience against the Silhouette. So if they can assure that bubble stays at level 1, 2, barely much higher, I would say it's a pretty decent trade-off for them.
Invisible Nymphora down here is trying to look for something happening, but actually going to walk back mid. Nova saying, well, I can't find anybody too easily. And even in the mid lane right there, Burning Shadow is going to be going out onto Pebbles. The Cull as well, but I think he might have actually missed the Cull there. I didn't see any additional damage going out onto that Pebbles. But Maravis doing his best to try to make something happening. But no, Maravis actually going to be in some trouble as the Nymphora going to come in from behind the Zeal Stun. And Fade actually turning it around on Nymphora. The power throw from Leon Black's Aluna going to finish him off. And Nova actually gives up first blood there.
Yeah, did Pebbles actually get his full combo off? It looked like it was
delayed,
sort of scattered, or a creep, or delayed, or a creep was tossed. Just goes to show how much stronger the the TTES lane is in middle of Fade and Luna compared to Nymphora Pebbles. I mean, they were jumped on with an Invis Nymphora. They almost seemed to not care, not even flinch, and they just said, hey, you know what? See you, Nymphora. And got first blood with it. So they kind of need that given the lane situation. They need as much of an advantage as they can given that they do not have a jungler. They just want to really control the lanes.
Yeah, for sure.
And in a straight up 2v2 like that, not even a gank assisting, great trade-off.
For sure, for sure. And Nova actually falling even further behind there. We did see that I'm going down there to roam, but coming back and dying immediately. And he's going to be hard-pressed to get some experience. If we take a look at the experience chart, he's at 73 experience per minute right now, as opposed to the 220 experience per minute of his opponent. Oh, actually, right there, I was watching that bottom, and I didn't even think to point it out because I didn't think anything was going to happen. But Demented Shaman right there was dealing with that triple stack camp, and Yonasom fan just walked right up, a couple auto attacks, Shell Surf Song of the Sea, and Whitalaba just absolutely bites the dust there in that lane.
And that isn't good. You're looking at your whole advantage of the 2v1 lane being bottom, being like, oh yeah, I'm going to keep that support hero so under leveled, I'm going to keep him out of XP range, I'm just going to really control the lane for my Swiftblade and make sure our Suicide is doing way, way better. But, I mean, you actually look, now the Bubbles has a 60 GPM higher than the Keeper of the Forest. Meanwhile, Style performing beautifully in this, Leon Black getting that kill in middle.
Yeah, middle lane. That was rough. I mean, they tried to go in once again, try to make something happen onto that fade, but they weren't quite able to. Nova came back with a haste that he had picked up, but the bottle from Pebbles was not able to get filled up. And Nox, I mean, it's actually worth noting here, Nox is on this Pebbles. So
right, normally known for his really strong early game farm and almost exploding out of control. They're doing a great job of containing it there. And they actually killed Pebbles and forced him for all the way back there, so huge trade-off. Meanwhile, if there's one thing keeping QsQ really into this early game, this is how badly the Silhouette is dominating the Keeper. And that's more of just in the matchup here, because Keeper can do decently against Silhouette. I think just Style is really playing his heart out in this top lane.
Yep, Style doing very, very well up there. Jeppin's at 147 GPM right now. Level 5, so as he gets more levels, it's going to become easier once that Nature's Veil is a little bit higher up there. But he actually went into lane with a Trinket of Restoration. Now, what's that all about?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, probably just an extra regen and Silhouette, but actually they're on the bottom lane. Slicks hit level 6, instantly used the ulti on the Bubbles. 3 great bounces, took him down to barely any life. He tried to self-surf, but in order to get away, he would have had to turn around and...
Yeah, middle lane Nox going in for a little bit of dive right there. The power throw going to hit both of them as well as the Cull, so able to turn that around. A Burning Shadows might actually finish off Nymphora here and is going to catch her. And right there, Moravis actually picks up that kill. Up in the top lane, Elemental Void coming out as well. Once again, the Tempest ultimate going to pick off Keeper. This is the same that we saw last game. More Deja Vu coming out.
Right. Well, it's not uncommon to see as soon as any jungler, like a War Beast, a Tempest, a Keeper, as soon as they hit level 6, they try to go to that top lane, try to get a kill as soon as possible. Because if you get a kill there, usually the map is busy enough to where it's a quick push, a quick tower down, and instant assertion of map control. So great job by Molly to go take advantage of that. But, you almost got to think that Keeper knew that was coming.
Yeah, he at least should have known. And now another TP coming in right here, as Slicks is actually going to rotate to this top lane, and he's going to be here for the deny. Ooh, that was almost screwed up there. Jeppin's good communication to know that he needed to actually hit that once. So they do get the deny there. And that's one nice thing for sure, that TteS is able to secure that one as well and prevent that push from coming out.
Yeah, Style, meanwhile, staying on a really comfortable 36 and 13 compared to a 13 and 5 Keeper. I've seen Jeppins play this matchup quite a bit, and he normally is pretty comfortable against the Silhouette. I didn't get to see too much of the intimate details of this matchup this game, but just, yeah, I cannot stress enough how well Style is playing this lane.
Oh, Fade in the middle lane. Moravis trying to turn it around right there. Does actually catch 2 with the Burning Shadows. In comes the Cull as well. The Reflection going to be activated, and the dot damage going to be enough. Down goes the Nymphora right there. Nova taking his 3rd death of the game. They're going to try to turn it around onto Luna, but no, actually not enough. Glacial Blast coming out right there from the Tempest that is in fact only level 2, so only get a stun twice. If there was a 3rd one, there might have been enough damage and one more auto attack to make that happen, but more great play coming out from TteS here in this middle lane.
Bubbles hit level 6. He's roaming towards his bottom lane. I don't think he's going to burn that regen, or is he? He is camping it, but he is moving towards mid with his ultimate now up. We see Luna, TteS, and Keeper all in position there as well. I don't know if they're actually going to try to make a play, but he is setting up over there. TteS, meanwhile, does have a ward there right by the bubbles. They do spot him, so they are going to position accordingly.
Yeah, now, Slick's up here with the life tube in this top lane. Going to make use of the very pushed back lane, try to farm this quite safely, but Style on that silhouette could try to get in there for a kill at any point. Do you agree with the Swiftblade being in this lane rather than in the short lane down there?
Well, I mean, Bubbles is level 6 now. He is low HP. I forget why he mobilized to the side of the map. He might have TP'd in the middle of the fight that was starting out, and now he just found himself in that position. If they get a ward placed up top where they can see any advancing enemies from QsQ, I think it's fine for him to sit there and static farm this. Meanwhile, look, some really aggressive warding coming out by Nova.
Yeah, Nova, if he's even though he's died 3 times in this game, he's still going to find gold somehow to get those items. Is the only thing in his inventory right now, 1 Miner Totem and 1 Rune of the Blight, even vendoring one of his only items there to get a ward. So, sacrificing himself for sure.
Something a lot of great support players do is they know the hotkeys for the wards in the shop, and every time they're about to die, even if they're sitting in no items, only 200 gold, and they're getting comboed, they can buy their wards within a matter of a split second. So that even if they're taking deaths, they still do have the gold to put wards on the map.
Yeah, so nice job there from Nova, even getting a counter ward off right now. Leon Black saying, damn it. Gonna get the counter ward off on the Word of Revelation, as well as Nova says, I wanted that one too, but not gonna happen. Leaving 1 Rev ward on the map, not a huge deal. Power
yeah, much more.
Sorry.
A much more even game than you'd expect. It almost felt like, based on that middle lane, like TteS was just dominating this game, because middle lane almost won on its own. You figure it almost felt like they were dominating it, but the game's actually quite even. One might argue even an advantage for QsQ.
Yeah, and a lot of that really has to come down to Melee on that Tempest, the X factor, really, when one team has a jungle and the other one doesn't. And actually, Bubbles down here in the bottom lane. They're trying to get the ultimate onto Swiftblade right there. Will they be able to get... No! The ultimate, the Swift Slash is going to come out right there from... Oh, man. And Slicks almost got both of those kills. Did get the kill onto Yonosum Fan right there. So that was very nice, but they weren't able to lock down Swiftblade long enough. And so Yonosum Fan did pay for that Swiftblade kill with his own life.
Right. Slick's making the best of a bad situation there, for sure. Getting the ulti off last. Like, you even saw... how excellent judgment Slicks has. He manned up even on that time. He knew he would die if he was running away. He knew he only had 30 HP, so he's like, you know what, I'm going to go man up and attack. And a lot of players, when they're under pressure, they don't do that. They'll just start running away. Oh, I'm going to try to save myself. I'm going to try to save myself. No, Slicks just right away manned up and, did what he could, so...
I like it. He was trying to rely on the counterattacks. Actually, Keeper the Forest might be in a little bit of trouble, as the Kelp Field and the Song of the Sea, as well as the auto attacks from Style, do in fact bring Jeppins down for the second time there in that top lane. So nice job from the QsQ guys to really bring that kill home. But yeah, back to Slicks in that bottom lane. He was kind of relying on maybe a couple of nice counterattacks right there. Might have bought him enough time to get the kill onto Tempest. And Slicks actually picking up a Helm of the Black Legion here on the Swiftblade.
I like it. I like more of an early game. A lot of times an early game build on Swiftblade lets him just... usually speaking, Swiftblade toe-to-toe with any of the other really hard late game carries doesn't really out-carry them. So if you try to build him for the part of the game where he's strongest, I think it can be a good thing.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that one. You typically do see that that Runed Axe build, but... going with something like a Helm of the Black Legion, a little bit unorthodox for sure, but going
maybe
to...
thought, real quick note here. Actually, in Dota, it's a much more popular pickup, and Slicks does play a lot of Dota and stuff too. So maybe
middle lane, some more action coming out right there as Moravis did in fact get the kill onto Nox. Pebble's going to fall, but Moravis actually falling as well, and the bottom lane going to be going toward TTEs, so they're even going to try to take 2 here.
Yeah. Push probably a little bit of advantage of TteS there. They did get the push. They're going for 2. Keeper applying a lot of pressure. He does still have his ulti up. Slicks trying to edge out the Hellborn team, but he is really deep here, and his spin is down. They're porting up on top of him. Is he going to be safe? Bubbles edging him out.
The Kelp Field going to be applied right here, so the only thing Slicks has left is the Swift Slashes, and doesn't even manage to get that one off, as he does get picked up there by Yonosum Fan. All 5 players down here for QsQ.
Yeah, wow. Slicks went a little bit deep there. I think he was just trying to, they knew they had one guy down. I think it was initially the Pebbles that had died. They were going for two tower pushes. He knew he had his helm. Maybe he figured, he did sell his TP up. He honestly could have TP'd out with his spin if he really needed to. I guarantee you he had his helm. He just thought he would be safe, but
Yeah.
some fan was just waiting there on the side, unsuspecting Slicks. And yeah, that's sort of why he got caught out there. I don't think it was necessarily a bad move for him to be sitting there trying to create distance so they could push that tower down. But it was just, yeah, Jonas and Fan with great positioning there, catching him off on the side. So
Bottom lane, Nox might be in some trouble here as 3 of the members of TTEs are 4 now converging onto Pebbles. The power throw coming up from the top lane. The keeper root as well going to come in. The burning shadows and the coal to finish him off. Moravia's pricking that one back up. So a nice job keeping Nox down. 0-3 and 0-200 GPM. Now, I want to go back really, really quick and touch on one thing you're talking about, the Helm of the Black Legion there on Juggernaut and Dota 2. Now, that's a lot more common because Jug's a lot more of a pushing hero in that game because of Healing Ward, right?
it is true. Healing Ward, it is true that does play a big part of it, yes.
Okay. So that's an interesting part. I didn't actually know that Six was playing a lot of Dota 2 right now.
Yeah, not a lot, but he does. Yeah, no, he plays a fair amount for sure. Actually, last I checked, he was on I think it was an Aussie team. They weren't really doing anything too major, but he was helping him out.
Bottom lane, Swift Blaster is going to come out right there, and right now, Jonas and Fan landing another nice kelp field. The spin coming out of Swiftblade, so he's going to be able to get out of there for the time being. The Nymphora's Grace being applied, or Grace of the Nymph being applied right there to Jonas and Fan on that bubbles, but they're happy to just take Jeppins out once again, save that tower, and get on out of there.
Yep. Fade Illusion just lurking on top, going to spout out the Nymphora. Meanwhile, all this time, Style applying a lot of pressure to this top lane, getting a lot of uncontested farms, sitting at almost 400 GPM again. So, very, very comfortable game for him. But Swiftblade, Slicks, it seems like he's dying a fair amount. It's only 2 deaths, I guess, but keeping up in farm, for sure, while maintaining active on the map.
Yeah, Six is just one of those guys. Top lane. The Reflection activated, but not quite needed right there. The Burning Shadow is actually going to be activated as well. And Keeper of the Forest trying to summon those Tree Dogs. Will they be able to get the last hits? No! The Life 2 providing enough regen. But Leon Black with the last auto attack right there. Going to take Style out for the first time in this game. And that was a kill that TTE certainly needed.
Oh, for sure. One really quick note there. Meanwhile, there is a fight starting out on mid.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be just content to back on off. The tower is actually denied, so TTE's happy they're able to get that one, but that's 2 towers now down and almost a third one up here in the top lane that QsQ might have opened up a lot of map control for themselves on the top part of this map.
For sure. Map control, Pebbles closing in on his PK, and they do have that deadly Pebbles-Nymph combo as the mid-game approaches to try to slow down the farm of the TTS team, something they'll always have to keep in mind. Real quick note, I was saying what differentiates some of the good keepers from the, I would say the god keeper players, players are noted for playing that hero, is they use their tree dogs for a lot more than just pushing. They'll create a lot of hero blocks with it, a lot of scouting, things like that, and Jeppins is always really good about using them in battle.
Yeah, we saw right there that he was able to get off a few of those auto attacks. He's able to prevent Silhouette from going up to the top from this choke right here and forced him down into the bottom so that they didn't have to worry about getting juked like that. So very nice job. Jeppin's a player that you're, of course, very familiar with. He's a member of your team playing for TTEs right now in Sweden, but he's going to be coming back to you guys for Hon Tour, right?
Oh, yeah, very, very soon. We weren't going to let him go just like that. So,
and he actually played very, very well from the games that I saw over there in the scrims and the few that I did see in the actual tournament himself. He was playing extremely well.
Well, yeah, he's a well-seasoned player playing back since early beta. He hasn't always been on the most competitive of teams, so maybe lacking a little bit of that experience, but he's been making up for it between all of our matches, and especially this boot camp session and this major LAN event. So I'm really glad to actually see him get that sort of field play.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about players like yourself and Angry Testy, people that have been to LANs all over the world for the last 10 years, getting some of that LAN experience certainly going to help in the event that you guys ever take Domain of Pain on the road for sure.
I will definitely try.
I hope to see you guys there. It'll be fun.
Indeed. Style maintaining pressure on this bottom lane, ports right back. God, that shadow is just so frustrating to deal with. I will say I personally hate fighting a Silhouette more than I hate fighting a Draconis, simply just because of that shadow.
Yeah, it's pretty irritating.
Split pushing potential is just off the roof.
like you said, that ability from Morphling in Dota 2, whatever you want to talk about, very much so replicated there in that shadow ability. And it's what gives Silhouette a lot of that power. So, speaking of pushing, though, no split push can be coming out. But TteS grouping all 5 plus illusions here in the middle as Meteor does come out from Tempest. And it actually looks like both teams
PK picked up by Slicks. Sorry, by I'm not sure if we actually touched on that. But
on Swiftblade.
PK.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he does in fact come in. A big Burning Shadows there coming out, and the spin coming in as well from Slicks on that the Tempest ult. Both Elemental Void going to be coming out as well, and the Keeper Forest ult as well. Kelpfield going to be dissipating, and Silhouette actually going to be dying to that power throw. And now it's just looking like Jonas and Fan going to be the last one trying to get out of there with the Shell Surf, but not quite able to. TteS brings home 4 kills right there for nothing, and my brain just exploded during that team fight. I could not talk for the life of me.
Really, what set the pace of it, Moravis had a beautiful stun onto 3 or 4 heroes there. Beautiful Burning Shadows into call combination. Swiftblade was ready to follow up. Keeper was already in position. No boots, no blink dagger, but he was already waiting there. Just caught them totally off guard.
Yeah.
And they tried to do their best to counter initiate, but it just wasn't enough. They stopped Tempest. Actually, did Tempest actually get... Tempest tried to Elemental Void in response, but it might have been interrupted by Keeper there. Or maybe he died to the spin.
He got it off for about 2 solid seconds, but he was definitely taking a ton of damage from the spin. Then Keeper broke it, and then Slicks just kind of obliterated him. Going into that fight, though, I mean, a lot of what really kind of threw me off was the Portal Key pickup on Swiftblade and the Portal Key pickup on Moravis. I didn't notice Moravis's either, so when both of those came up, my brain just kind of exploded, and I have to say, QsQ probably was not expecting either of those Portal Keys as well.
Right, and TteS did a great job to exert as much pressure as they could against this lineup, which obviously scales very, very powerfully into the late game, picking a team fight right there as soon as they pick those items up, so great job by them.
Very nice job indeed. And Sustainer going to actually be delivered to Swiftblade right there, so do you think he's going to be going for that Rune Cleaver a little bit later into the game now?
Sustainer, yeah, I'm trying to look at what he would build an Allstone for. I'm looking at these Hellborn heroes, and I'm just not feeling really an Allstone coming out. It is a little bit late for Sustainer, but his farm is really good. So, I mean, if he picks it up, it's not like it's going to be bad. He'll just take his already great farm and propel it even further. And when you're looking at this late game team, maybe having a farming mechanism like that in order to keep toe-to-toe with Silhouette isn't so bad. Outside of that, outside of the farming abilities it provides, it still does provide enough damage to be considered, you know, a quote-unquote damage item for that hero. So not exactly like a wasted pickup, I don't think.
All right, all right. Speaking of Null Stones, it has already been picked up here on Silhouette, so very nice. And so I got to point this out. I play Suicide and support myself, but Aluna right now being played by Leon Black 5-0-5 in this game. I just noticed that I saw the push stick, the tablet of command being delivered here at only 21 minutes into the game. Power supply, steam boots, tablet of command, vestments, in addition to doing a lot of the warding. I mean, that's pretty good farm.
Oh yeah, and even look at here, I think the harder support of this game is being sort of passed off onto Whiteliba, and he's sitting on 220 GPM himself.
Yeah.
No real major pickups, but he has steam boots, he has vestments, and you look at Nymphora, and she doesn't really have much at all. They are looking like they're trying to assert pressure here into the base already. I mean, they do have their PKs. Maybe they can make this happen, but definitely a risky play. If they lose this fight, they're going to be in a pretty bad situation.
Yeah, the defensive Stormcloud coming out right there. It's only level 1, so it's only going to last about 12 seconds right there. Yeah. Something along those lines.
They got the damage off. I would back out
the Chuck comes in from Pebbles right there. The Song of the Sea, so Demented Shaman in some trouble. In comes Moravis, landing a beautiful Burning Shadows on 3 players right there. Six wants to come in, but taking a lot of counter pressure from Silhouette. Forced to spin backward for the time being. And Tempest going to come in, drops the Elemental Void, and Slicks is into trouble. Keeper of the Forest being tossed in there as well. The Root going to come out and envisaging himself for the time being. The Song of the Sea as well as the Zeal right there. Down he goes. The Death Lotus was there, but not even needed. And this is what you talked about. TteS, if they were to lose that fight, which they did, now they might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, the initiation was a staggered. It looked like some of them thought it was a good idea, some of them not. Jeffins was staying out, maybe waiting for that Tempest hole, but then he wound up getting caught by the Tempest hole in the end anyway. So it looked like sort of a half initiation there. It looked like they didn't fully commit. Whereas if they were going to fight that, they either needed to go all in or nothing. And you know what? They had 80% of the tower damage. I would have just taken what they had on the tower damage and backed out at that point. Maybe taken it just a little bit later. But Oh well.
Yeah, oh well, indeed. A very nice team fight there for QsQ. And worth noting, actually, Moravis coming back in right there as he does indeed pick off Nova. That wasn't even a buyback. That was just kind of him making his way over there very, very quickly. So a nice job right there. Nova dying for the 5th time. But before that team fight actually occurred, all 5 of the players for QsQ were in fact stealing the enemy team's their Ancients. Triple stacked Ancients. They were able to snag 7 out of the 9 creeps of that before they had to TP back out of there. So that's definitely something that's contributed to them evening back up this gold advantage and even being in a 5,000 experience advantage now.
Oh, for sure. Also, Moravis, pretty impressive stun there. Not only did he catch the Nymphoria he was trying to kill, but he actually stunned the TePS that was on Kongor with the PK, so he couldn't get counter-initiated onto.
Yeah.
So great job by him.
Moravis' stuns have actually been phenomenal this game. While we saw that dive coming in right there, he had a Burning Shadows that caught 3 players in a line. And that was a very, very nice stun that actually should have maybe set up a better team fight. But they, of course, did overextend a little bit and weren't able to capitalize on that beautiful 3-person stun.
Yeah, Nox really set up the positioning in that base fight as well because he caught the DS hanging out there by the fence of the Hellborn base and tossed him all the way back into his team. So TteS really had to overextend in order to fight QsQ in the first place there. So I think Nox really set up that fight beautifully in the first place.
Yeah, you got to wonder. Actually, the Root going to be coming out. A huge take cover right there from Yonasom fan, but not going to be enough. But they might be able to get the counter kill. But in comes Swix. He is dropping that spin in the background, taking down Nova. But in fact, Bubbles now is dead. And Moravis did die as well, but buys back immediately. So he's going to be trying to make his way back over there as soon as possible. You can see him down here in the middle lane. But it looks like they're going to be backing for the time being. TePS wants to drop those Glacial Blasts and drop them. He will. Only the first one going to come out as DS breaks line of sight. And now all 5 players are back up for TT Esports. The Keeper of the Forest Root is down, though. And Tempest Elemental Void going to be back up here in about 15 seconds. They want to be able to try to take down this Rax. The Tree Jogs have been summoned. We'll see what is used to actually deal with these. But the Meteor going to be dropped as well. And it looks like there's going to be a big commitment here. Slick's going to be diving in. A big Burning Shadows catching Nox right there. And a couple more auto attacks. But no, a big turnaround right there as Moravis gets comboed down by that Pebbles. Silhouette in the middle of things right now, trying to put the auto attacks into Slicks, and Swiftblade going to fall right there. Style now turning his attention toward White's Alba. A big Emerald Lightning coming out right there. White trying to man up, but not going to be quite enough. Keeper of the Forest on the run now, as well as Luna going to be able to get on out of there. But a nice defense. They were able to really try to thwart the enemy team from taking anything further than just that melee Rax. And now QsQ going to be looking at this Kongor.
Insane perceptiveness there by Leon Black as well. And not only at the end, he knew Nymphoria would be trying to pour on him, so he dodged into the woods and TP'd out. But in the middle of that fight, I'm not sure if you saw, but Tempest did use his Elemental Void. But it literally lasted for maybe 0.01 seconds. Luna instantly stunned it off. And if she didn't, they would not have taken the Rax. They would have been in a very, very, way worse spot than they are now. So Leon Black playing out of his mind.
Leon Black playing very, very well, of course. But I mean, it comes back to they dove that Rax. Now, what was the price for that melee Rax? They lost Moravis. He bought back, and then he died again. And then they also lost Slicks and White Alba. And they gave up the Kongor kill. Was getting that melee Rax worth it? I mean,
arguable. I mean, they do have it down now. If anything, it will help them sort of a little bit more map control. If there's going to be the thing keeping them in this game, it would be the melee Rax, but I thought it was really risky. I mean, they had no Keeper ulti. They had no Swiftblade ulti. Looking at level 1 DS ulti, and they had everything ready to go on the Hellborn team there. I think they were just trying to go all in, and I think they knew they were sacrificing themselves for that Rax. I don't know if they realized they would lose as many people as they did, or maybe they did. But whatever it is, it seems like they felt it was worth it. I'm not sure if I agree with that one, but they knew the risk at hand, and they went for it.
Yeah, and so they do have it down. This is, of course, going to maybe pay off a little bit in the long run. Silhouette up here with the Aegis of Life. Actually, going to be coming out right there, but already the Shadow activated. And so all 3 of the TTE's players right there probably going to sigh to themselves as that does die without activating the Token of Life or anything along those lines. Red Power Throw going to scout out the Hellborn team, though, as they do see 3 of the players up here and 2 more lurking in the shadows. All 10 players in this game now in the top lane, but the Hellborn team going to be content to just keep on farming, and the Legion team going to fall back for the time being.
Right. Slick's unsure if we caught that. He did finish his Ruined Cleaver.
Yes.
He is now farming the Ancients. His farm should explode even further from here. Despite those base pushes, despite those deaths, 4 deaths now. He is sitting at 412 GPM, still tailing that Silhouette, doing a beautiful job staying in this game. I'm actually curious to check out the damage charts really quick here.
You know
Style definitely.
I just looked at the damage charts as well, and I'm impressed by Style. I mean, you talk about some players that are really unwilling to commit to certain team fights in the mid game, the early game, while they're still farming. But Style doing 19%, well 18% now of the damage in this game so far has been a huge force in these fights.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure some part of that, like maybe 5% of it, comes out from that early laning phase where Silhouette's putting out a ton of damage and a ton of harass onto a hero like Keeper who really has nothing to retaliate. But still, yeah, fantastic job. Fantastic job. I'm wondering if he's going to go PK anytime soon here, because he does have his Nullstone, he does have his Shrunken Head. I would like to see that PK on Silhouette. I do still consider it core for that hero.
We shall see. She's at 2,000 gold right now. Could maybe vendor something to get it, but she doesn't want to for the time being. TP's even going to be coming in here, as looks like the Legion team trying to get out of there. They do not want to take a fight just yet, as they know that there might be some terrors hiding in the darkness over here. Pebble's actually picking up the Shrunken Head to accompany Silhouette, so they're going to be very, very strong at these team fights. Portal Key, of course, on Yonasom Fan, and there's the Portal Key for Silhouette, picking that up at the side shop, and the Hellborn team looking like they want to push down this top lane.
Yeah, yep. 4 Portal Keys now for the Hellborn team. That's just huge initiation. We got 3 on TteS as well.
7 Portal Keys in this game?
7 Portal Keys. It's going to be chaos in these fights.
Yeah, how am I going to talk about that? My brain's going to literally explode every team fight.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best.
Yeah, we got Shrunken Heads picked up on Pebbles, as I mentioned before, on Silhouette. So great to have against that Keeper. See what they have to mitigate the Swiftblade ulti. Not too much in the way of armor or anything. They have a Nullstone on Silhouette. Hopefully, Swiftblade doesn't target her with the ulti, given that she has it up, but we'll see.
Yeah, and really, other than that, I mean, you have some Tempest Elementals and really just kind of praying that there's creeps around. But we'll see how that does come into play, as Nymphora Port's going to be coming in over here. They actually hear it. They're cutting down the trees and actually getting caught right there. Tempest and Nymphora are in some trouble. Swiftblade gets actually demolished right there by Pebbles, and Tempest now turning it around. The Keeper of the Forest route does come out, as well as the Kelp Field, and now the TTE's team is actually in some huge trouble right there. Demented Shaman, Cape going to keep him alive for the time being. The Keeper of the Forest is in some trouble, though. The Zeal Stun going to finish him off, and 3 players down there for TTE's, not able to pick up anybody in return. And it was a great job trying to catch that Nymphora, but immediately Slicks just got bursted down. He was a little bit out of position. The combo came in there from Pebbles, and Male actually almost dying to a red power throw right there. When Luna has the next one up, she might try to get the kill on this Tempest. Actually, he's going to potion himself up right now. Doesn't want to remain vulnerable to that. But what happened there in that team fight, Bryce?
Oh, I think it's just Slicks got caught out. He got killed before he was able to put out his damage. And you're looking at it, he is the main carry for the TteS team. He is significantly overleveled in this game compared to the rest of his teammates. And now QsQ sitting on a huge experience advantage, and they still have the Token of Life. If I were Silhouette right now, I'd be looking to pick up a Savage Mace, maybe pick up that next Token of Life, have the QsQ team turtle out, wait for that next Kongor to revive, get that Savage Mace, and use that Savage Mace to begin to push into the TteS base. Because I think a lot of TteS, what they have going there for them there is their initiation, but if they're going out and trying to pick off that Silhouette with the token, they're going to be wasting a lot of that initiation, and then QsQ can respond pretty handedly.
And speaking of that token, that does only have 1 minute left on it, so going to probably expire before making use of it. And the Hellborn team, they're just kind of farming right now, splitting themselves up, trying to get their stacks on, pushing out that bottom lane that's constantly trying to push into their base because of the lost racks. Legion team finally going to be able to knock down this first tier tower at 33 minutes into the game. The Hellborn going to stop resisting and just let the inevitable happen. And now Legion might even try to take 2 right here, as Swiftblade absolutely destroys Nox. A nice portal key in from both Moravis and Slicks right there. able to catch the Pebbles out of position. And with Pebbles down, he does not have a buyback available now. They might be able to take at least this second tier top tower and maybe even start working on the base here.
Oh yeah, they needed that pickoff. They needed that pickoff at this point of the game. I wonder how much ground they'll be able to gain if they'll keep trying to go for this top tower. Swiftblade's ulti is down. Fade's ulti is down. What's the cooldown on Fade here? 23 seconds, so it'll be up before Pebbles is up. They might be able to mount some pressure here. Token is down for Silhouette as well, but I don't think they can kill him.
Yeah, the Hellborn team doing their best right now to try to mount any kind of anti-ace push they can. But Silhouette going to go in with that portal key right there. The Shrunken Head activated. Leon Black trying to get out of there, but he is, in fact, maybe going to fall. Is he going to fall? He's got to fall, right? Hey, yeah, he's going to die right there. But that was all that it took for the Hellborn team to actually force back the Legion right now. Was a portal key in with the Shrunken Head there from Silhouette, who has, in fact, picked up a Slayer now.
Yeah, not too big of a loss. They did have to use the Keeper ulti. Kelpfield was used in exchange. And they got half the life of the top tier tower, but yeah, not very favorable. I think actually Aluna might have lived if the Keeper ulti a little bit sooner to stop out some of those auto attacks coming out from Silhouette, but either way.
Now, I'm afraid I have to correct you right there. Saying that losing Aluna was not too big of a deal, no. That was Leon Black's legendary streak. Getting a legendary streak as a support, that's like a big deal. You do not want to lose that. That is a major morale victory right there for QsQ. So a huge deal, actually. And QsQ now confident to take this game now that they've dealt with that 5-kill Luna.
Right. Congo should be spawning here, if I'm not mistaken, within a minute, maybe minute and a half here at the latest, as far as I know. Token was dropped before that top fight, so it can't be too long from here. I'm sure QsQ is going to be looking to take that. And actually, we're looking here at the Silhouette. He is closing in on his Savage Mace, like I was talking about. And it's that Token Savage Mace combo. That's when teams usually look to push in and take the base, because the high ground advantage is sort of mitigated once they have the Savage Mace.
Yep. So once that finishes up, we'll see how fast they're able to push down or whatnot. But on the other side, Slicks with that the Runed Cleaver does pick up a Blessed Orb right now. So is he going to be going for? You can talk about Geometer's Bane. You can talk about Frostwolf Skull, Nullstone. Which of those do you think that might be coming out with that Blessed Orb?
Way too late for Nullstone. Frostwolf, not my favorite pickup. I would say Geometers. I really like Geometers on Swiftblade. I think it's great. Synergizes great with his Swift skill. It gives him another escape mechanism. I've got to say it's probably going to be that Geos, if anything. That would be my guess. Although I kind of feel like he needs a Shrunken Head at some point.
Okay. Now, before it does have a Bound Eye down here, so they might be looking for this Fade, who's currently inside of the trees, the ultimate just being activated. So we'll see if he does try to go for a pickoff. Silhouette up here with the Shadow in the front lines. And they're going to go on it, treat it like it might be a real one. But no, of course, that's not real. Double damage Slicks right there, hitting for quite a bit. And, the Hellborn team saying, nope, we don't want to take that fight just yet. Moving on back. They're going to try to take this Concord now.
In spite of the 20,000 experience gap, it is only a 6,000 gold lead, and a lot of that has to be attributed to those racks being taken out sort of early by TteS, and the gold gain from the bottom lane being, a bit diminished. And a little bit of that map control, map movement, they have more pressure than they normally would in a gap like this because those racks are down.
Yeah, for sure. So both teams just kind of posturing right now. They know that Kongor is back up, and both teams are kind of looking that way, but this gives us a very quick moment to look at some items. Swiftblade, of course, with that Runed Cleaver, Portal Key, Shrunken Head, and the Blessed Orb. Demented Shaman just kind of doing his thing with the wards, Steam Boots, and Grave Locket, so more than some supports have is actually on the other side. Nymphora only sitting on Striders and Mystic Vestments as well as her Bound Eye. Swiftblade actually just right-clicked a Shrunken Head. So not even making use of that Blessed Orb for the time being. So he's going to add that Shrunken Head. And Shrunken Head being picked up on Moravis as well. So going to add his Shrunken Head to the pile. Abyssal Skull being picked up here on Leon Black's Luna. So I definitely like that pickup for the 3 melee heroes here. Especially 6 going to make very good use of that one. Plated Greaves as well as the portal key here for Jeppens on that tree. Banking 2,100 gold now, so he's going to be looking for his own big item next. On the other side, of course, Silhouette going to be looking at that Savage Mace to accompany her Portal Key Shrunken Head Nullstone. Shrunken Head on Pebbles as well as 2,000 gold, so going to be making a big pickup here. And the Hellborn team trying to maybe pick something off right here. They do spy that Silhouette. The Burning Shadows is going to come out right there, but immediately the Storm Spirit from Bubbles to try to save that Silhouette. So there you go. Storm Spirit on Bubbles. In addition to that, Portal Key going to be very useful. And the Shrunken Head now on Tempest to accompany his Portal Key. So Portal Keys and Shrunken Heads in droves. Actually, Slick's being initiated on right here. The combo coming out from Pebbles. Immediately, Six is going to spin. The Shrunken Heads being activated left, right, and center. The Swift Slash is coming out. But Malay is actually coming in. The Keeper of the Forest ultimate to interrupt that Tempest Void. And now it's just man-on-man action as they're trying to get each other beat down. And they're just trying to auto-attack each other down. Molly's going to fall right there as Slicks is going to come in, try to apply the last auto-attack to the Storm Spirit onto Slicks right there. And Silhouette's trying to get out of there. The Tree Grapple turning it around onto Swiftblade right there. One more auto-attack, and he is, in fact, going to be able to get it. In comes Pebbles buying back right there. Nox is going to be able to take out Demented Shaman. And the last man standing here for the TTE team is, in fact, Jeppens on that Keeper of the Forest. For the players up for QsQ. Is they're going to try to take down Kongor.
Yeah, did Leon Black did he buy back there, or did he just revive just in time?
He definitely bought back.
Okay, right. I'm just going to push out the top lane then.
Oh, well, I think he bought back.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit of a weird initiate onto the Swiftblade, given that he did live, and it looked like they were turning it around a lot. I was fearing for the Silhouette's life, but they did pull together and wind up winning the fight in the end. This looks like sort of a free Kongor. TteS is reviving here. Fade is coming. Is she teleporting? She is teleporting to the bottom lane, maybe trying to put a stop to this.
Yeah, Jeppens is there as well. 30 seconds left on that route, though, so he's only going to be able to get in there, auto-attacks, and maybe make a play for that token. And Jeppens not quite able to get it, though. Silhouette going to pick up that token, and now Jeppens is in huge trouble, actually going to lose his life right there. Jeppens, a valiant effort, but not quite able to make it happen.
Silhouette does finish her Savage Maze. She does have the token now, completing that item combo I was talking about earlier. I'm sure they're going to be looking to push as soon as they can now. They sort of have everything they're looking for. They have Shrunken Head on Tempest. Yeah, I mean, pretty much every core item they could be looking for on this team. A Storm Spirit to even mitigate the Swiftblade damage quite a bit, so...
I like it, and we now actually see a Void Talisman coming out for Bubbles, so a very, very useful item to deal with that Swiftblade. The Swift Slashes will be mitigated by that. And a Soul's Bulwark being picked up there by Bubbles, so I think he actually sold that Void Talisman and instead picked up a Soul. So thinking twice about that. Well, he actually just sold the Soul's Bulwark too, so damn it, Yonasom fan, just buy an item and stop vendoring it. There we go.
Right?
He buys the Soul's Bulwark again, so...
Probably
we'll see if he sticks with that one.
Team. Yeah.
Soul's Bulwark being picked up there on Jeppens as well.
I was just going to say, I'd like to see that Bulwark being picked up on Keeper as soon as possible. He needs a sort of an item here that'll help them turn the fight whatever way they can. I can't really see anything better than a Bulwark. Oh, and he picks up a Bound Eye while they're at it.
Yeah, Silhouette actually trying to make his way over here. Moravis was right next to him. So it's probably a little bit scary for Moravis to have Silhouette PK right on top of you. But knowing that he's invisible right there, he is safe indeed. And so Moravis is just going to skulk away. So a couple of buybacks have been used there. Moravis used his quite some time ago, and Leon Black as well. So Moravis, what do you think that this Fade might go for next? Already with that Portal Key and the Shrunken Head. It's way too late for something like a Codex, but what else might be useful?
A normal go-to for Fade after this point might be something like a Hellflower, just for a little bit stronger of initiation.
Okay.
Helps her in killing Bubbles as well. Yeah, outside of that, I'm not really sure what else she really could peek for.
Well, we'll see if that Hellflower does come out.
Yeah.
Hellflower actually most likely being worked. Actually, initiation coming in right there. Nova in some trouble, but being storm spirited up. But they're turning their attention toward Nox, and the auto attacks right there from Swiftblade are enough. The Swift Slashes right there managed to grab Nova, but nobody else. And now Silhouette having to get out of there as well. The Elemental Void coming out of Tempest, catching 2 players right there, and in comes Silhouette, trying to do as much auto attack damage as he can. Slicks is able to get away for the time being. Will he be able to get out of there with his life? He's got Portal Key up in 1 sec, and he does Portal Key away. Leon Black might not be so lucky as 2 more Portal Keys do come in. Tempest wants to be able to get those Glacial Blasts as well. The Shell Surf could be coming out here very soon, but a nice job using that Deja Vu to actually get out of there, and they actually don't chase the proper direction. Leon Black with a beautiful juke right there.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised to see TteS come out ahead. I guess it's just because they took out that Pebble so early. Slicks actually used his ultimate on like what seemed like 100 life Nymphora. So it didn't even really get the full effectiveness of his ultimate off that fight, but because they picked off Nox early on, I guess they had supplemental armor coming out from Keeper, and it just was enough to keep them alive. I think he actually had it on positive armor there as well, combined with his... They just had enough damage mitigation to keep them alive through that Tempest ultimate and have them just, I guess, a very good fight won for TteS, surprisingly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got to point out right there at the end that Aluna actually has Balls of Steel. Like,
I'm not sure if you just caught that, but Fade actually just caught Style farming the woods with low HP and actually burned the token.
Oh, I saw the red power throw go up, but I didn't see the token being burned.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's very big.
Yeah.
Getting that token down. I was too busy watching Aluna being played by Leon Black's Balls of Steel, who got out of there, went to the top secret shop, bought a TP, and then said, do I really need to buy this TP? Used a red power throw, actually showed herself, and then said, I don't think anybody's here. So I sold the TP again, picked up her Mystic Vestments once more, and then just walked back down the lane, right by 2 Hellborn players, as they actually walked away from her.
Wow.
Oh, Yodasun fan in some trouble right here. The Burning Shadow is going to be coming up. Silhouette going to come back in, activating that Shrunken Head, but the Swift Slash is doing a ton of damage. The Yodasun fan does, in fact, die. The Bound Eye going to be falling as well. The Root going to come out, but immediately comboed down from Pebbles. Silhouette trying to get back out of there, but will Silhouette be able to get out? The Storm Sphere going to come out. The Elemental... Oh, no. Swiftblade actually able to kill Silhouette right there. The Glacial Blast keeping Leon Black in place for the time being. Yodasun fan coming back in once more. He actually didn't die right there? What?
Oh my god, yeah, he had such low HP at the start. He
got
away.
Dead.
Keeper was holding that ultimate, waiting for Style to come in with that Shrunken Head, and he did a great job. They knew Tempest's Black Hole was down, his Elemental Void. Keeper was saving his ulti to mitigate a lot of Silhouette's damage, and it worked out in the end because they did kill the Silhouette. They obviously still lost the fight, but Slick survived, Silhouette died, if there's anything positive to be said about that fight. But either way, he just got out of that fight, kept himself on the edge, and I guess they had no real follow-up damage from TteS.
Yeah, it was very, very well played there by the QsQ guys. And, I thought that Yodasun fan was dead. I legitimately thought that he was dead, gone, just wrote him off right there. But I guess he was able to survive, and the TteS guys just had no follow-up right there. Silhouette did fall, of course, so that is a big deal. That Token of Life would have kept her alive if it had not been burned there by Maravis in the jungle. So a nice job doing that. But
every fight that's going on appears to be on QsQ soil. TteS seems relentless in applying pressure and taking advantage. Actually, the bottom racks ended up falling. I didn't catch which fight that happened in during it. Maybe it was while they were creating extraction in one of the other lanes, but that ended up falling as well.
Yeah.
The range racks on bot.
Yeah, range racks, not a huge deal. Not nearly as big of a deal as Leon Black's legendary streak. Let's just put it into perspective.
True. But you have to admit, when the huts are destroyed around it, and when that rack's fallen, it actually opens up the creeps to begin to attack the defense towers of the shrine.
Yeah.
A little bit more pressure applied then. People say that range racks doesn't matter, but when that lane is opened up and the creeps can go sneak in and start attacking the tower, it's just one other thing you have to be mindful of.
Of course, I completely agree with you. But, man, Bubble's actually sitting at near 3,500 gold right now. Going to be getting pretty close to finishing up that demonic if he so chooses to do so, and that would be a very, very useful item to have against this Legion team. Silhouette with that Savage Mace finished up in a bottle right now. The Legion team looking like they want to take down this mid tower. They don't have that token of life. If she had that token of life, this would be such a better team fight to go into, but they unfortunately did lose that, and they're going to have to go into that. The double damage has been activated now.
Can you imagine DD and double damage rune, token of life, all of that, and the amount of sieging she'll be able to apply to this tower? I don't think TteS.
Oh, Swiftblade going in right there with the Swift Slash. It catches out Nova, and Mala in a little bit of trouble as well as the Burning Shadows, in fact, comes out. The Elemental Void going to be dropped, but does, in fact, die right there. And Fade's in a little bit of trouble, but Nox is just being absolutely demolished. Slicks is just tearing him apart. And Style is now in some trouble as well. The Storm Spirit being applied, but the Burning Shadow is going to come out, and Swiftblade wants to be able to finish him off, and he does finish him off. Now, Moravis does fall as well, but a huge team fight there for TteS.
Slicks really set the pace of it, manning up, blinking and using that ulti to catch Nymphora, killing her, taking her out of the fight right at the start, and causing TteS to flee. TteS got his Elemental Void off, not for long. Jeffen's doing a beautiful job of entering these fights, using his tree roots right on top of the Shrunken Head from Silhouette, once again stopping the damage output from her, although she does have her ulti to dispel it. I'm not quite sure if I'm seeing that happen. And the Elemental Void being cancelled every time, so they're fighting these fights beautifully.
Now, Silhouette has bought back. Nova just respawned, and Jonas and Fan was able to get out of there. So they're going to try to actually make something happen here. Silhouette portal keying in right there, but not quite able to catch anybody with the tree grapple. They're able to clean up all the minions on top of this tower, but not able to bring any hero kills home. So they were able to save that one, but they also lost a base tower while that went down. Now, you talked about that range Drax going down there. You talked about all the huts being killed, and the meatball, of course, even taking some damage and eventually being killed. And now that base tower. So that's the time that you're kind of really worried about having this lane exposed for, what, close to 25 minutes now? You've lost all of your buildings. Your sacrificial shrines, only about 1,300 HP right now from being exposed as well.
Yeah, I cannot believe TteS is still in this game. I think they're down 30k experience, and almost 30k experience, and they're against Silhouette with pretty much, all of his items completed, and with the Swiftblade to scale against that is unbelievable.
And Swift has actually picked up that Geobane that you were talking about 10 minutes ago. So.
Yeah, QsQ really needs to be a little bit more careful about how they're picking these fights. She did have her Savage Mage, she did have her token. That is the time you want to push. That is the time you want to split up and just be really careful about this. They had what they needed they had everything they needed to sort of assert pressure and win the game, and right now it's just not coming together. TteS just sort of keeps putting them on their heels, pushing back the waves, and every fight seems to be, a matter of TteS setting on QsQ. QsQ's is not getting the better end of the deal.
They certainly aren't. A lot of that, I feel like Nox really hasn't done a lot in this game. He had some very big pickoffs there in the early lanes, in the top lane where he's able to get Slicks going into a team fight. But since then, he's just kind of gone in, and he has not scaled well at all. He's only farming 269 GPM. And when you're talking about the farmer for QsQ, that's very, very low. Not able to finish something like a Hellflower, not even going to be going for something like a Demonic that you might normally see. He needs some items to be able to contribute to these team fights, because right now he's going in, he's comboing one person down and probably not even killing them if he's targeting Slicks, and then just sitting there with a Shrunken Head, just kind of attacking a couple times and then dying.
It's times like these where I really think you shouldn't underestimate having some semblance of farm on some of your support heroes as well. QsQ had such a big advantage, and Nova's still sitting on literally only Strider's investments for items that actually bolster his hero's strength. Imagine if he had a green triangle, one of those, a Void Talisman, I believe? Yeah, Void Talisman. Could help him survive a lot of these Swiftblade ultis, or they'd have a lot of tools to sort of stop that in its place. But right now he's really underfarmed. He's pretty much just, if Swiftblade attacks him in a fight, that's like a 2 or 3 hit kill.
Yeah, certainly. And QsQ actually is going for this Kongor kill right here. Moravis is in position. Moravis actually going to come in right there with the Burning Shadows being applied. But Swiftblade coming in with those Swift Slashes as well. Silhouette absolutely getting destroyed. Oh, that was actually the Shadow right there. The Shadow being absolutely destroyed. In comes the combo with Nox, but not able to actually land this. Waitalba is going to be tossed as well. The Kelp Field going to be going down right there, but Slicks poning Styles right there. In fact, the Silhouette does die. Slicks even able to bring down the Bubbles as well, who did just complete that Hellfire. And Slick's just looking absolutely dominant in that team fight. Nothing was able to touch him.
They didn't have to fight that though. I mean, Silhouette did escape the fight. She chose to blink back in. They should have just.
Oh no. Nox actually going in there for a kill on White, but was that the best decision? I mean, Nox, his style has come back. He's used his second buyback, so he is back into this fight. Drops another chuck onto Nox, but will he be able to get the Swiftblade? Actually does die right there, so a nice job from Style, but the second tower is being killed right there. The Sacrificial Shrine is actually in trouble, and Nox is really close to actually dying to some creeps right here.
Yeah, I have to wonder if that's why Slicks chose to map a little bit further there, is to create a diversion for the base. I mean, that shrine being exposed now is a huge deal. Keeper and Tempest, you notice they were both playing a little awkward game of footsie there, where both of them were saving their ultis sort of in response to one another. Really interesting to see that major team clash ended with both of their ultimates up, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Now, Jeppins did just grab that banana, so he's going to activate it right there, trying to get away from this Style playing the Silhouette, and he is, in fact, going to be able to get out of there for the time being, but Style has a portal key as well. No, Style choosing not to chase, picking up that Aegis once more, but the bananas, Cheese going to that Silhouette. Or, excuse me.
Actually, Style sold his portal key for that token of life, and I'm not sure if I agree with that. I mean, it's definitely arguable, but I just feel like, I mean, maybe he could have just put his Whispering Helm on the Courtier, something like that. I feel like portal keys is so essential for Silhouette to get that good positioning in a fight, especially where Keeper is looking to edge you out, and he's trying to, essentially using his ultimate in response to your shrunken head every time. I mean, I feel like that portal key just helps out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Moravis is over here. He is trying to get some kind of initiation set up here, and there's only 4 players. Nova is back defending the base. The Burning Shadow's coming out. The Shrunken Head being activated. Incoming the Swift Slashes on Swiftblade, and the Storm Sweep being applied on Tempest. They want to get that ultimate off, but it's not going to happen. Auto attack to finish him off. Melee is going to fall. The Hellfire being applied, and Moravis might actually fall, but no, Nox is being turned around on right there. A beautiful Burning Shadows, and now Silhouette is in trouble. The Aegis being activated right there, and it looks like in comes Swiftblade once more, trying to get something to happen, but the Root coming out there onto Silhouette. She's in some trouble. The Shrunken Head being activated, and Moravius tries to man up, but no, Leon Black actually brings that kill home. Bubbles in some trouble now, as he does have to go to that Shell Surf. The Storm Surf being activated, but it's not going to matter. Slicks actually did fall right there to Jonas some fan, so a very nice job. I don't even know how he got that kill. Did you see that?
Onto
Slicks.
Oh, no, I didn't see how he got the kill on Slicks. I think he just blinked in, followed up at the end there, wound up nuking him down. Slicks was low after the initial part of the fight. I gotta say, I don't see any Void Talismans. Oh my god, the Shrine, meanwhile, is being attacked by creeps. Nova actually trying to defend it right here.
Oh, holy crap, everybody's down from the Hellborn.
Yeah, everybody's down. Only
They're
Silhouette
shrine
has
this
buyback.
right now.
The Shrine.
No, Silhouette doesn't have buyback.
This is it. They can't defend it. Only Silhouette can buy back.
No, Silhouette can't buy back.
No, Silhouette can't, but she has no buyback. So yeah, it's gone. Even if she were to buy back.
The Sacrificial Shrine's going to die right here. The Shrunken Heads are being activated. Tempest is going to come in with a big Elemental Void, but it's not even going to matter. The Shrine goes down, and TteS eSports actually takes this game.
Oh, that is ridiculous. I cannot. After being down 30,000... TteS amazingly played. QsQ, a little bit of throw coming into the bench as well. I can't say they had no green triangles there, no void talismans against that Swiftblade ulti. And there were many times where I saw Tempest isolated from the fight, eating a Swiftblade ulti. And if he just had a void talisman to sort of burn through that, I felt like they could have kited the melee carry on Swiftblade so much better. But a little bit of maybe questionable item choices, a little bit of mispositioning, and TteS drove it hard. That early rack's definitely playing a big advantage in them being able to continue the pressure, though.
Okay, so, wow. I had heard things about this game, that it was a really good game, but that was a throne there at the end. That was crazy.
I just shows like the willpower that TteS has. You never see Slicks forfeit a game, even when it seems like it's outside the realm. That goes to show you why you just should not ever say a game is over till it's over. I mean, I think TteS realized they still had a fighting chance, given the fact that they did have that keeper sort of against the Tempest, that they did have that racks down. But
yeah, for sure. All right, well, That was a fantastic game, but that was only game one in this Static 2 series. So we've got a second game coming up. This has been a Complexity Cast with Beef and Brized, a.k.a. Emperor. Any shout-outs before we go to a quick break and get the second game set up?
Shout out to TteS for that amazing comeback.
Dude, TteS is so good. I can't wait to see them with Riser once again. I mean, no slight to Jeppins. Jeppins is a fantastic player, but once they get Riser back on that roster, I'd love to see how they do in HON Tour. They're going to be going up against your team and everybody else, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for HON Tour. It's going to be so fun casting those games, playing in those games, watching the teams practice and get better. Anyway, I'm fanboying. Time to go to break, guys. We're going to get the second game set up real quick and be right back. Complexity Casts. Thanks for watching.
Take care.